Hey YouTube, Rando here. Today we're making potatoes au gratin, and we're using dehydrated potatoes. So what we've done, we've already started it. We got a layer down there, very bottom of potatoes, and they're slightly rehydrated. So we got a layer of potatoes, then a layer of cheese and onion, and now another layer of potatoes, and then we'll put another thin layer of cheese and onion, then another layer of potatoes, and then we'll show you the sauce that goes in this before we bake it. Okay, so we're going to start on the sauce now. For the sauce you'll need, of course, some cheddar cheese or Monterey Jack, something like that, mixture, whatever. We got a stick of butter, which is a half a cup of butter. We got salt, pepper, chives, parsley, milk, and flour. So we're just going to dump the butter into the hot pan, and I've had it preheating here for a few minutes. Babe, I need something to stir this with. Babe. Just let that butter melt down, and all we're going to do is make like a buttery roux is more or less what we're going to be making here. Let the butter melt down, add some parsley, chives, salt and pepper to taste, you know, whatever you prefer, and then start cooking in your flour. And once you get that turned into a nice kind of paste, you start adding your milk. So if I ever get something to stir with, we'll start this up. Whoa. Got a little steamy there. Alright, so I'm going to get my camera wiped down and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that we got our butter melted down a little bit, we're going to add a little bit of salt, 2 pinches works, a little bit of pepper, not much, the chives, go a little heavy with the chives. I like chives. You can always add it to the dish as well, and a little bit of parsley. Incorporate some seasonings into the butter as good as you can. Then just start adding your flour. And you don't want to put too much flour, but you want to put enough that you get a good paste in there. Go ahead and let that flour cook down some. Should be doing this in a small skillet, medium skillet. But we're using what we have. All of our dishes are out on the property, so kind of left with not much to cook with here. And remember, you can always add more flour to the milk itself. So, and this by itself smells good already. It's about the thickness I want to get it. Some people bring it up a little bit thicker, and then we're just gonna start adding some milk. And you're going to want it kind of thin because you're going to add cheese and possibly some more flour. There we go again. Bear with me, YouTube. There we go. And that was probably about a cup and a half of milk, somewhere in there. And we're just going to let this thicken up. If it's too thin, add more flour. If it's too thick, add more milk. So we'll let this thicken up, and when we start adding cheeses, we'll come back. So you can see how thick it gets. I just wanted to show you. We're going to have to add milk to this. Before we add our cheese, just to thin it out a little bit. I just wanted to show you how thick it will get. Let this come back up to a little bit of a boil before we start adding our cheese in, and it won't take long. And we're going to use mozzarella cheese because we used all the cheddar inside the dish itself. Go ahead and let that thin out. That's about the consistency we want right there, because it's going to thicken up from the cheese quite a bit as well. So we just want to have cheese topping on it. And if you wanted to turn this into a casserole, all you'd have to do is cook some ham or some bacon, or both for that matter, and throw it in there. It makes a really nice casserole, and it's a, you know, one dish, 1 meal. So we're making it as a side tonight. We're not adding bacon, we're not adding ham, nothing like that. This is still pretty thick. Like I said, that's about the consistency you want it right there. And we're just going to add a fistful of mozzarella cheese, just to make it a little bit more cheesier. This should be cheddar or Monterey Jack, something like that, like I said. I like sharp cheddar, mild cheddar. I just like cheddar cheese more than any cheese. The only thing I don't like my cheddar cheese on is pizza. So it's the only time I usually use mozzarella cheese. And we're not going to put a bunch. Like I said, that was about a handful, less than a cup, about 3/4 of a cup, something like that. Just let that melt up real nice. And then we'll be pouring that over the potatoes, and we'll come back and show you that stuff. Okay, so this is the consistency I like right here. I added about another 1/4 cup of cheese, thicken it up a little bit, so that's about a cup of mozzarella. And you can see it's pretty thick because it has trouble going through the holes on the spoon. So get it nice and thick. Now we're just going to pour it over these potatoes. Go ahead and turn this off.
You don't think I should use a ladle?
No, I think you should pour it in there. Set it on the table for now. Let's pour it over all of them and let it settle in itself. It's going to go to the lowest point eventually. You want to bang around the pot a little bit, you can do that. What are we baking this on? 400 or 350? I'm going to bake this on 350. It shouldn't take longer than a half an hour. But we're going to say, 20-30 minutes. I'll let you know what the cook time was at the end of the video when we're showing you the finished product. So, pop this in at 350 and we'll see how long it takes. Alright, so this would be the part right now when I would go ahead and top it with a little bit more cheese, some bacon bits, stuff like that, and throw it back in the oven for a few minutes just to let everything melt together. But we're going to call this done right here. Like I said, it's just a side tonight. I'm going to add something. Oh yeah, if your potatoes are a little bit thicker, you may have to cook it up to an hour, but this took us about 30 minutes with the potatoes we had. You've seen how thin they were. And you can use fresh potatoes. You don't have to use dehydrated potatoes. That's just what we had on hand. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Sorry about that. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like plattered up here next to the pork chop. Doesn't look too bad. Tastes real good to you. So, thanks for watching.